My name is Nanette Odell, and I am the ADA Coordinator and Disability Services Manager for the Phoenix Suns and Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm not into sports, but I'm really into making sure people with disabilities who are into sports have access and have full inclusion. My number one job, I always say, is to make sure that our buildings and facilities are compliant, that they're accessible. And that's everything from the parking lots to the entryways to the bathrooms. We are currently in one of our many amazing suites. There was a very large glass door right here. What that meant then was that to open this door and then come in as a person in a wheelchair or a scooter, to be able to sit here would make it very difficult. They literally invested in removing all of this glass, the doors obviously. They cut back what they call a drink rail right here, essentially this countertop. We want to make sure that a person who's in a mobility device is going to be able to come right up and sit shoulder to shoulder with their companions. If you can look in here, you'll see it's a fairly narrow bathroom. We're not going to do a whole lot to change that, but what's interesting is there used to be a sink right here. Now that of course, would make it very difficult for a person to transfer from their wheelchair to the toilet. I kind of literally was just drawing out on a napkin one day and said, you know what, we don't need all that space in the suite. We then pushed back and created a new sink by pushing back through into the suite itself. So what we did was we actually bumped the wall in just a little bit so that we had that additional space. And I assure you the bathroom looks far better now than it did before. Most importantly is it is accessible, and that's the highest priority. Here at the arena, we made modifications about 7 years ago where we took some of the accessible seating areas and we took some seating that was directly behind them. We cut the seating in half in a sense to create sort of some unofficial storage space. We wanted to make sure that people who use mobility devices that wanted to sit in a standard seat could keep their mobility devices with them. That's really the reason I'm here, is to make sure that inclusion is never an afterthought again, that I'm part of the process from the design and concept all the way through to the finishes. And I think that's a pretty amazing thing.